Are you sure you're not unknowingly hurting your heart with small daily habits? In today's video, I'll share the story of Mr. Walter, a man who discovered 3 seemingly harmless routines that turned out to be hidden culprits behind his uncontrolled high blood pressure.
My name is George. I'm 68 years old and I live in Oregon. I've been retired for almost 5 years now. Every morning, I wake up early, brew myself a cup of black coffee, no sugar, turn on the radio for the morning news, and get ready for a walk around the park near my house. Honestly, I never thought there was anything seriously wrong with my health. I don't smoke. I take my blood pressure meds every morning, like clockwork. My doctor even says my heart numbers are pretty good for my age. But lately, I've started noticing something strange. My blood pressure, it's still high, even on days when I eat clean, avoid stress, and get to bed on time. By noon, I feel drained. And if I stand up too quickly, I get lightheaded. I've started asking myself, something's not right, but I can't quite put my finger on it. My wife says I should cut back on salt even more. My daughter thinks I'm watching too much news and getting myself worked up. And me, I just sit there, trying to remember if I did something wrong. Are there daily habits I'm overlooking that could be quietly messing with my blood pressure? If there are, I really want to know so I can do something about it. Because I don't want to wait until I collapse to finally understand why.
George, thank you for sharing so honestly. You're definitely not alone in this. A lot of people over 55 experience the same thing. They take their meds, eat healthy, and still somehow their blood pressure just won't stay in check. It's not that the medication isn't working. More often, it's because of small, quiet habits in our daily lives that we don't pay much attention to. Let me walk you through the 3 most common habits that could be sneaking under the radar and might just be affecting your blood pressure without you realizing it. Salt doesn't just come from the shaker on your dinner table. In fact, over 70% of the sodium Americans consume each day comes from processed foods, not from anything we add ourselves. Think about foods that seem harmless: bread, cheese, deli meats, canned goods, bottled sauces, frozen meals, even your morning cereal. All of them contain hidden sodium that your body takes in every day without you even realizing it. Even a so-called healthy canned chicken soup can pack 800 to 900 milligrams of sodium. That's about 4% of the recommended daily limit. And if you're eating that kind of thing every day, your blood pressure could be creeping up without you even noticing. I once had a 67-year-old patient whose blood pressure just wouldn't stay controlled, even with medication. Sleep is something we often take for granted, especially after retirement. A lot of older folks think, I don't need as much sleep anymore, or they let their sleep become irregular. But that actually disrupts the body's natural rhythm that helps regulate blood pressure. Deep sleep allows blood vessels to relax. It gives the heart and circulatory system a chance to rest and recover. Body never fully resets. That adds constant pressure on your cardiovascular system. And poor sleep can also raise stress hormones like cortisol in the morning, which, you guessed it, pushes your blood pressure even higher. I always tell my patients with a smile, if medicine is your weapon, then sleep is your shield. It protects your heart every night. And finally, one incredibly common habit: sitting too much without even realizing it. Many retirees feel like they've earned their rest, and they have. But the body still needs gentle, regular movement to keep blood flowing and help regulate blood pressure naturally. When you sit for long stretches, whether it's watching TV, reading, or playing cards, the blood vessels in your legs tighten, circulation slows down, and your heart has to work harder to pump blood throughout the body. What's tricky is that older adults don't always feel anything obvious. But behind the scenes, blood pressure is slowly rising day by day. That's why I always recommend stand up and move around every 30 minutes. Take a walk for 15-30 minutes a day, or simply stretch your body right there in your living room. George, what worries me isn't the day-to-day swings in your blood pressure. It's the quiet buildup of damage, month after month, year after year. So many people come to me with the exact same question you asked. I'm taking my meds. I live a healthy life. Why is my blood pressure still high? And then we run tests, heart ultrasounds, artery thickness scans, kidney function, and we find it. The truth is, those little habits that seem harmless, they've been slowly chipping away at the body's health from the inside out. Unlike a headache or a cut on your skin, high blood pressure doesn't hurt. But it is a silent killer. For every 10 mmHg your blood pressure rises above the safe range, the risk of stroke increases by about 30%, and the risk of heart attack goes up nearly 20%. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it to remind us all. If we don't manage it early, any ordinary morning could turn into the last one. And the saddest part? It's often people just like you, George folks who seem healthy, don't smoke, aren't overweight, who are the most likely to overlook the danger. High blood pressure is like a powerful current silently wearing down a dam. It thickens blood vessel walls, reduces their flexibility, and causes damage to key organs. The heart. It has to pump harder every day. This leads to left ventricular hypertrophy, eventually heart failure. The kidneys. Tiny blood vessels inside get damaged. Poor filtration, rising creatinine levels, potentially dialysis. The brain. Reduced blood flow, higher risk of stroke and dementia. Many of my patients feel just fine until one day they get dizzy, confused, or notice swelling in their legs. By then, the damage has often been happening quietly for years. One side effect that's rarely talked about, but incredibly common, is the emotional toll. When you feel like you're doing everything right and your blood pressure still won't behave, it can leave you feeling helpless, anxious, or even mildly depressed. And it becomes a vicious cycle. Stress raises your blood pressure, and high blood pressure adds more stress. I once had a 72-year-old woman who felt this way. But after adjusting just a few small daily habits, her blood pressure became more stable. She slept better, and she no longer needed her daughter to drive her to weekly checkups. That's why it's not just the body we also have to protect the heart and mind from the hidden cost of a lifestyle that might seem normal. Just because we can't see the damage right away doesn't mean it isn't happening. It's like a roof slowly eaten away by termites. You don't notice it until one day it collapses. But here's the good news. If you're willing to make some changes starting today, there's still time to turn things around. George, and to everyone watching this video, I want you to remember one thing. You don't need huge changes to start improving your blood pressure. Sometimes just a few small steps each day can help your heart beat a little slower, a little gentler. You don't have to cut out salt completely. You just need to be a little smarter with your food choices. Read nutrition labels carefully. If an item has more than 300 milliliters of sodium per serving, think twice. Choose fresh foods whenever possible. Steamed veggies, Lean meats without heavy sauces keep it simple and clean. Flavor your meals with herbs instead of salt. Use garlic, onions, lemon, pepper natural, tasty, and heart-friendly. Limit frozen meals, deli meats, and white bread. Remember, it's not that you're adding too much salt, it's that hidden salt is everywhere. Cutting back on sodium is one of the simplest, cheapest, and most effective ways to lower blood pressure. If you can create a sleep schedule the same way you have a schedule for your meds, your heart will thank you for it. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Turn off screens at least an hour before bedtime. Avoid coffee, tea, or heavy meals in the evening. Make your bedroom quiet, dark, and cool. It's your heart's version of a gym. I once had a patient who made just 2 changes, switched to a warm bedside light, and stopped watching stressful news before bed. She told me, "I've been sleeping like a baby," after 15 years of tossing and turning. Better sleep isn't just rest, it's healing. I'm not asking you to run a marathon, but I sincerely encourage you, every hour, give your legs the chance to do what they were made to do, move. Set a reminder to stand up every 45 minutes. Take a 10-15-minute walk around the house after each meal. Do some gentle stretches in the morning, or even while watching TV. If possible, join a senior exercise class or go for a walk with friends. It's good for circulation and even better for the soul. And yes, yard work, mopping the floor, watering the plants, that all counts as movement. Just 15 to 30 minutes a day, done consistently, can lead to noticeable improvements in your blood pressure within 3 to 4 weeks. I always encourage my patients to jot down a few things each day. What you ate, how much you slept, if you moved your body, and what your blood pressure was. It only takes 5 minutes, but it helps you see clearly what's helping me feel better and what's quietly dragging me down. One patient even told me, "I never realized how fast my blood pressure reacts to a sausage until I saw it in my journal." That's the moment you go from reacting to your health to truly taking charge of it. Expert, wrapping up the solutions. George, what you're going through is real. But it's also something you can change. You don't need to overhaul your whole life. Just a few small changes, done the right way, with consistency. You don't have to try to live 20 more years. Just start living better today, one day at a time. Dear George, and to everyone watching this video, high blood pressure doesn't always come from something big. Sometimes it's the tiniest things, a slice of bread that's saltier than usual, a restless night after watching TV too late, an afternoon spent sitting on the couch without standing up once. We focus on medications, hospitals, and numbers, but we often overlook the familiar, everyday habits that quietly shape our health. And those habits, if we're willing to reflect and adjust, might just be the key to managing blood pressure without more pills and without more worry. So, if you only remember 2 things from today, let them be these. 1. Pay attention to hidden salt in your meals. Don't blame your age. Look at the sauce bottle, the canned goods, or that slice of deli meat in your sandwich. 2. Give your body the rhythm it needs, rest and movement. Sleep enough and stand up often. We don't need to do more, we just need to do it better. And above all, be patient with yourself. Because every day you choose to slow down just a little, to live a little more gently, is another day your heart gets to breathe a little easier. I always tell my patients, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to care for yourself with enough kindness. And that kindness begins with understanding this. High blood pressure is not a life sentence. It's simply a signal, a gentle reminder to pause and listen to yourself. If George has ever asked these questions, I'm sure there are many others out there just like him. Maybe it's Margaret in Florida who just noticed her blood pressure creeping up. Or Henry in Texas, wondering if that slice of deli meat he eats every day might be doing more harm than he thought. Please feel free to share your story in the comments below. Don't hesitate. We read every single message, and sometimes what feels like a small, personal detail to you could be exactly what someone else needs to feel understood. If this video felt easy to follow, relatable, and helped you reflect on your own habits, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Each week we share new videos about blood pressure, heart health, sleep, nutrition, and real stories from people just like you, so no one has to feel alone on this journey. High blood pressure doesn't wait for anyone, but knowledge can still arrive in time, as long as we stay open to it. We'll see you in the next video, and who knows, maybe your question will be the next topic we explore together.